Yo, what's up? It's your boy Big E.
Eli.
What it do, what it is, everybody, it's your boy A-Tiz, and you are now tuned in to the Rise and Grind podcast. Today we got a real special guest, David Manifest, 5 mics, baby.
Yeah, what's good, world? What's up? Thank you guys for having me.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you guys being on the show. I can't wait to jump into it, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name ringing in these streets. Once I pop out, shit getting steep. Ain't shit sweet, ain't get no sleep. Run the pack, my wolves came to eat. Just put your hands where my eyes can see. My mind so gone in the odyssey. Ain't too modest like part of me. And I stay more dope than a pharmacy. Yeah, I'm too cold with it. Move your soul with it. Yeah, we show get it. We the most live this burger dome with it. Watch your tone with us. We stay soldiered up. This a throne business. Told me when I was young, ain't no business like show business. I've been putting in work since J-High. Got the booth smoking, yeah, I stay high. He wave fly, I don't take off. So we catching bodies in daylight. Y'all moving messy, we stand firm. And I ain't even gotta get my hands dirty. We can square up for the fans thirsty. Your bro and your man's in the stand, surely. Take your best shot, they can't hurt me, I'm built too strong. Yeah, I gave it back cause I had the top for way too long. We apply pressure, catch the fade to go song for song. Afraid to look in the mirror now, tell me who you really hating on. Y'all stay weak like another 7. Passing them bodies to be my brethren. Stepping wrong, yeah, I might just send them. Y'all can see heaven if you second guessing. Took my time, that's another lesson. Who you think I am? I'm the secret weapon. Doing this shit since an adolescent. Don't test the pen and we won't stress it.
I'm nuclear, time bomb, no tick-tock, my mind gone. I'm on one, hop in the box since 2010. No love lost, yeah, I lost some friends along the way, but I'm better now, it's a brighter day. So pay attention to the way I move. You surround yourself with some better fools. The king is back, so gather round. Your favorite rapper don't matter now. I'm making money, Uncle Sam, y'all posting shit up on the ground. I was built for the shit, so let's get it straight. Mom made me back in 88. ADD, no section 8. Hard to focus, look past the hate. Strategically, I plant my seed, and I generate that money trees. I build it up, I can break it down. I can run this town if I want to. Me and Fest, we been on the clock. Cooking up in that crock pot since way back. Check the archives and artillery in my hard drive. You wanna be the man, you gotta beat the man. Let me break it down so you can understand. When you start a brand, I'm the one you see. When it comes to custom, I am the king. I ain't saying names, I ain't playing games. Go ahead and try to mimic me. I'ma do my thing. Anyways, made $1 million plus off selling teas.
All right, guys, that was David Manifest, the 5 mics, new single out now, featuring myself. Let's talk a little bit about that song, David.
Yeah. So basically, I'm working on this new album. It should be out by the time this episode is, airing. But Civil War, that is the name of the album.
Sick. That's a great name.
There's a reason for that. But anyway, I was just going through some beats. I produced beats, but on this album, I didn't produce everything. I mean, I work with different producers as well, I like to have variety.
Nice.
And I just heard this beat that I have.
How long you been sitting on that beat for?
I'm not even sure. Honestly, I have a folder of beats that I download. I have producers send me different beats.
Oh, yeah.
And that one just came like natural. Once I heard it, I was like, let me throw this in the sesh. And I just started writing to it like that. I probably came up with that hook and that track probably like in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
To be honest.
That was a dope track because I remember you sent me that track like at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we had it ready by like 10, 11?
Yeah, by like 10 or something.
Like 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
So let's rewind a little bit, right?
Yep.
Who are you? What do you do? What's your passion?
I was sent here from a different galaxy. I landed here back in like 1984.
Nice.
You know, and I don't know. I just actually, my name's David. You know, I was born here.
What's wrong with that? You know, I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
no, I like
I never
it.
knew
I like
this
it.
about you, bro. Like,
To each their own, you know what I mean?
Yep,
Like,
yep.
I was born here in Colorado, you know, and grew up Denver, you know, moved around a lot, you know, went to a lot of different schools. Never really had my feet planted anywhere, you know. So my parents, they moved around a lot. We moved to California. We moved to Arvada. We moved to Thornton. And that's kind of when I got, you know, my feet planted. It is probably in Thornton, you know.
Nice. When was that? How old were you when
I
that
probably
happened?
was like 12, 13.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good age.
But like I said, we stayed out here and then we moved to California. We moved back. You know, it's just a lot of moving. And pretty much I just, you know, found love for music, you know.
by yourself, or were you with some friends and you just?
No, it was me and my older brother, actually, Ruckus.
Okay.
His name's Daniel, but he used to go
Yeah.
by Ruckus. Me and him would wake up and battle. You
Nice.
know,
Yeah.
we would just nonstop rap, you know, and this was before Eminem dropped his first album.
Okay.
And we were like really into, I think when I discovered hip hop, it was my Uncle Sanon. He was playing this movie. It was called The Show. It was like a DVD series, and it was about hip hop, and they had like Wu-Tang on there. You guys got to check that out if you've never seen it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds tight.
It was really dope. It was like one of those old school documentary hip hop
Yeah.
things. And I was just intrigued by, you know,
The whole culture.
the culture, and that's when I found like Wu-Tang. That's when I found like, you know, like Run DMC.
Nice.
you
And you
know.
said it was your uncle's video?
It was my Uncle Sanon's video.
That's tight.
And I grew up with him and my older brother,
Nice.
you know, Ruckus. And
And that's what's cool about you, dude, is like your whole family is involved with music pretty much, right?
yeah,
And that's one of the things about David is you go over his crib and, you know, he got his brothers there. They're making music. But it's pretty dope to have that kind of chemistry with your family, you know?
yeah, it was all like, even at one time, my whole family, like my cousins, all my cousins, me, my brothers, we had this crew. We had like several crews, but like the first crew, I think, was let's go back. Like the first crew I ever did was like in middle school, high school, 9th grade, 8th grade, and that was called Contagiously Gifted with my boy Zone, my brother Ruckus,
Nice.
and our little brothers and stuff, you know. And that was you know, we didn't really know much about how to record.
Yeah. Just
No-
rolling with it, right?
Were you making your own beats at that time or
At
no?
that time, like I kind of was, but not really, you know.
Yeah.
And if I did, they were like horrible beats, you know.
did anybody take you serious, or was it all just, he's just a bunch of kids messing around?
No one. Well, my dad's a rocker. My dad had a band.
Nice.
He used to play guitar, and back then, like he didn't want us to be like into hip hop. He wanted
yeah.
us to be
Rock.
a rock,
Yeah.
you know, and so he would like get pissed off, you know, if he would see us doing that, you know.
Yeah.
Like he would like beat our ass if he heard.
Yeah,
You know,
some hip-hop.
he would try to beat us out of
Yeah.
us.
So in middle school, how were we recording this? You had a studio, or like, you went to somebody's
Um,
house that had a studio?
Nah, we were recording like tape deck today. Tape
Oh,
deck.
okay.
We had this karaoke machine and it had like 2
Yeah.
tape decks, and we'd have to like stick toilet paper and the tapes so we can we'd find a tape, stick toilet paper in
Yeah.
the top, you know, that whole process,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
re-record over the tape. But you know, like 9th grade, 10th grade, then we started this other crew called Trendsetters. I think you might have remembered that.
We were doing shows around the same time,
Yeah.
you know? We would open up the same shows.
Yeah.
And my boy Dent, he started putting us on to shows,
Yep.
you know, at the Roxy.
Nice.
And I had my cousin Enix there, my cousin Solo, my cousin G-Rock, my cousin Bishop, me, my brother Ruckus, Architect. That was like the core, and then we had like other members join later. But
Yeah.
that's when we started actually taking it serious, and that's when I started making beats like
Okay.
full time, like a full time job. I moved in with my cousin Solo, and he had a setup. He didn't really know how to use it much, but he's like here. And by then, because from like 8th to 9th grade, there was like a learning curve, and I definitely took it like more serious. My boy Nick Rocca, he showed me how to like beat map. I got this program called Acid,
Okay.
and I was chopping up samples. I was laying drums down.
Yeah.
I got Fruity Loops. I got my hands on that. I was, just learning all these different programs, Reason.
Yeah.
And I.
So how did you get your hands on the programs? So you said people already kind of had the programs.
Some
and the
people had
equipment.
them, and then some of them was like, I think we downloaded them and like cracked versions.
Yeah.
I remember the first time David came over to my house, he hooked me up, like hooked my studio up. My studio was really basic as far as plugins.
Yeah.
And I remember he was like, let me log into my email.
Yeah.
And dude, I had all the best softwares, mixing programs. But
I used Pro Tools.
Yep.
With him, I definitely, just had what I had in there, and I'm like,
Yep.
I'm like a scientist when it
Yeah.
comes
Oh
to
yeah, just let him work. Feed him, smoke him up, let
Yeah,
him work.
yeah, let him work, yeah.
Let him work.
Like one of my homies, he had like this little mini mansion way up in like Frederick,
Yeah,
and that he let me move in there, and he was like, here he would feed me, like he said, smoke me up,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
was just constantly on that.
well, that was kind of our relationship in the beginning too. Is like, come pick me up. All right, let's make some beats. Like I was telling him the other day, like we would just stay in the studio for like 10 hours. You'd be in there just making beats.
I wouldn't even breathe.
You wouldn't even breathe. You'd come out, but you would have like 20 beats complete.
Yeah.
And out of those 20 beats, I would siphon through them and like pick like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of those beats in the beginning are still on my hard drive, which is pretty amazing that I still go back to some of those beats to this day. And you never know. You might be having a vibe,
Yeah, a lot of those beats were hit or miss. Like
Yup.
they were either really dope or they weren't.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was learning still back then. Like even today, I'm still learning a lot. But like,
Well, every time he comes at me with the new pack of beats, he's like, dude, throw away those other beats I had.
Yeah.
This is so much better. Like
a new portfolio.
new portfolio,
Yep,
and this happens about like, I don't know, like every year you'll start sending me, like last time you sent me beats, I got like 30 or 40 beats.
yeah, I just send you a pack. Like
Just a
bam.
pack. Pick which ones you want. I'm gonna send them off. I like to get the beats first.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm the type of dude where I want to. David knows how I am. I want to hear the beats first before anybody else kind of cycles through them.
Well, what I'm doing now is like when I send someone beats, I'm only sending them those beats.
Yep.
Yeah.
Opposed to just sending a group chat full of beats.
Yeah.
It's
And then the
just,
same dude everybody using the same beat, and then it causes
Yeah.
a little bit of conflict.
Yeah, that's happened before. Like
Yeah.
I send a few people beats, and everyone wants that same beat, and then
Oh, yeah.
I have to remix it and all that.
Yeah. So where did the hustle fall in? Is it kind of young, or did it evolve with the music, or?
I'm Mexican,
Right.
so you know what that
Yeah,
means.
yeah.
Like I was mowing lawns at a young age,
Yep,
area in, just doing whatever to get money, 14, 13, 12,
Yeah.
I never, not worked. I can't remember when I didn't, but, it just, the way of life, you gotta survive. My mom, she raised 4 kids on her own. She never had money for anything. So if I wanted anything, shoes, anything nice, I had to get it myself.
Yeah, you had to put in that work.
I
right?
had to,
Yeah.
And I remember like 6th, 7th grade going to school, not having like nice things, and kids would make fun of me and stuff. And I was like, this is done. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not living like this.
Yeah, I need to find an
Yeah.
answer to this. Find a solution to it.
So, whether it was selling weed,
Yep.
whether it was boosting, whether it was, grinding as far as, like I said, doing lawns and
Yeah,
stuff like
hustling.
that.
Yep.
Finding just experience. And then even at, one point, like Fade had me working, too. I remember that. And,
I remember you were on work release. Yeah.
That was a huge, that was huge for me. That really helped me out a lot.
Well, that's what I always say about Planet Tees, dude. It's kind of always been there to help people out. It's not my main hustle, but to tell you the truth, it's always there when I need it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And then I started like my own business. Now I paint. Like I'm a painter. I paint houses, commercial, residential. It's pretty lucrative, but you know it has its challenges, just like anything else.
Yeah, everything else,
you know, but
pros and cons. Yeah.
the first few years were like, phew, I took off, you know. But then it slowed down, and you have
Well, what year did you open up?
2019.
Okay.
You know, so I've had
Nice.
it for
Almost 5.
Yeah, well,
years.
people got all that stimulus, and then they're getting their house painted, and they spending all that money, you know.
Yeah, I made like over 120 grand the first year, dude.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it's the taxes and
Yep. Equipment, gas.
deductions and all that
supplies.
stuff.
Yeah,
But you know, you learn, you know, and then it's also, you know, I think last year was like my slowest year.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So and,
I think that's for a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
It's always up and down. Do you advertise at all?
I advertise online, you know,
Okay.
word of mouth too. I have, you know, flyers. I have my kids and my lady.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
They walk around and pass out flyers, or
Nice.
you know, I post ads. I pay for, you know, ads on like Indeed, Craigslist. Facebook, it's a little harder for me because like you can't. I'm trying to figure it out, but you can't like post an ad. You
like
have
a service.
yeah, like a service.
I've tried it, like on Marketplace, right?
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, they'll flag you, they'll delete it.
I try to do it.
Yeah,
and,
you
like,
try to work around it and like rename the post something that.
I didn't know that. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so
You
what I
can't-
do is
yeah.
just, you know, I got to get better at it on Facebook, but what I do is just post some of my work. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I like to do on Facebook, because you know I was running that issue too, because you can't really post a service on Marketplace, but the workaround is groups, like Facebook groups, Marketplace, like not Marketplace, but like Thornton Group, Westminster Group,
painting groups.
just mainly the local groups like
Yeah.
around us. Target those groups, you know.
Yeah,
some
no
of
doubt.
these groups have 120,000 members. You know, we're part of a Brighton group, and dude, I see so many people share their services. What is it like? Steam cleaning, just random stuff.
like
you know?
air
Yeah.
ducts.
Yeah, air ducts. So that's like the number one thing I see.
That air ducts is
I see
called.
all the
That's
time.
actually a scam. Do you know that?
Is it really?
Scam?
Yeah, it's like a phishing scam.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's,
Most of my-
I just watched this whole video on YouTube on
Yeah.
why you see so many of that. Yeah, it's just a scam.
Most
Yeah.
of my work and my ads come from like, I would say like 90% is online, like Craigslist.
Yeah.
You got to pay for those, but if you post every day,
Yeah, you pop up number one.
that, and it's like a lot of repeat clientele. You know, I got my foot in the door with like some contractors, you know, and they just, now it's at a point they call me and they're like, I got this, you know,
Yeah.
I got this, and you know, but you have to have like your insurance and all that stuff set up, you know, and your LLC and
It's all about liability insurance,
Oh,
so
yes.
people don't even want to mess
Yep.
with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you said this year was your slowest year?
Last year-
And what? Why? Why do you think so?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Economy, government.
I think the economy kind of just slowed down. People didn't have the money, you know, and I even went as far as like working with the actual, like getting a real job, you know.
Yeah.
But then I got like sick of it, and I was like, oh man, it just wasn't for me. There was no, I didn't feel like,
There's no end game.
I didn't feel like fulfilled, you know.
Yeah.
And so I just jumped back into doing my own thing. Probably here now for like 5-6 months, and it's
Yeah.
been, you know, pretty decent. You know,
Nice.
What's your company called? Let's get that out there.
A&D Painting. I'm online, you know.
A&D painting.
So-
I might be hitting you up. We were actually, it was crazy because he's like, Ernesto told me the other day, he's like, yeah, he's a painter. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. We were just talking with my wife on how, you know, it's probably time to get our house painted before the HOA comes for us, you know? So,
Yeah, the HOA definitely will come for you.
Oh, yeah.
So call me. You know?
It kind of sounds like the IRS almost.
Right?
Yeah.
The IRS and the HOA, dude, they
They'll
both will come for you, you know?
'cause they
So-
don't play around, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, for sure.
So
dude.
I can stand in between you and the HOA and definitely,
Take care of that.
take
Yeah.
care of
That's
it.
good. Let's get you out there. You know, that's what this is all about. We just want to uplift Colorado businesses, you know? I mean,
Yeah, and that's my first thing. Like music is my love, you know, but painting, that's like
It's like an art, right?
It's an art too, right?
I-
It's all
I
in
love,
the same.
I love doing that, you know, and I'm good at it, and
Yeah.
that's how I feed my family. You know,
So he painted the inside of my house recently. My wife started a project and couldn't get to the
Oh,
ceiling.
dude.
And so he came and like saved the day.
I might need you on the inside
and,
too.
um,
'cause-
He had this real huge like wall. It was like 20 feet.
Yeah,
You know?
when you walk in, my
Yeah.
entryway is like 20 feet. Dude, my
Yeah.
wife just underestimated it, you know?
Yeah.
And so half of it was painted. He just needed to get up top. But he came in there, dude, and he was clean, dude. Like, and I was like, hey, how come you don't got an employee? He's like, I can do this all myself.
I have like a couple employees. Like when I started, I had like 2 or 3 crews.
Yeah.
But it just got too chaotic. Now it's just I do most of the work myself. I have
Yeah.
my brother Adrian, my brother architect.
So
my
you
son.
kind of like put your foot down on like what you take in. Like, do you ever overbook? Like, is that something that happens?
No, because I'm really good at like scheduling and talking to the customer. And if I have something, you know, I'll schedule, you know, the next thing right after. So it's just scheduling
Yeah.
back to back. It's, you know, I've never been so busy where I had, you know, to overbook or anything.
Yeah, because to me, I'd rather stay small and have one crew than have 3 or 4 different crews and having to manage all those crews. You know, because with all those crews, there's gonna be a lot of mistakes.
That's what I ran into my first year. I had 3 different crews. I'm juggling, you know,
Yeah.
And then you have to worry about, you know, employees taking advantage of stuff, you know,
Yo, oh yeah,
not getting the job done, you know, right, quality assurance,
yo,
stuff like that. So I was like, nah,
because a bad employee could affect you not getting paid.
that,
Oh, yeah.
and it just
Yeah.
sours like, you know, your name you know,
Yeah.
with the
Yep.
contractor.
Yep.
You know, they don't want to work with you no more. And
That's the hardest thing, right? Is finding employees that care about your business as
Oh, yeah.
much as you
Yeah.
care about your business.
Yeah.
and nobody really does. So
No.
like, and then on the other hand, it's like you've worked for like a company before where, you know, the owner, it's hard to respect them because they're not, you know, you never see them. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
They want you, like I work hand in foot with anybody who comes and works with me, you know, but I've hired everybody from my dad to my cousins to, you know, just
Associates,
I've
yeah.
hired a lot
And
of
you know,
people.
sometimes it works out with family, and sometimes it don't.
Most
You know,
time it don't.
Most of the time it don't.
Yeah,
you know,
most-
but
yeah.
in certain cases it does work out.
Sometimes it
Yeah.
does, yeah.
But
What's the first thing we tell people when, you know, and it's all, so DTF is all family, right?
yep.
Mostly my family, but what's the first thing I tell them?
I mean, you ready to get fired?
Yeah, I'll
You know,
fire
right?
you. Like, I don't care if you're my daughter, I fired my son already twice. You know
I had,
what
to
I mean?
I had to fire my dad, and my dad's been painting longer than me, and I still had to fire him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he was taking advantage of the situation.
Yeah, dude. I
And
mean,
I think
it's
when
hard.
you're
dude.
upfront and honest in the beginning and say, hey, listen, this is a business. When you're here, it's business. When we're home, it's family.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah,
they can't separate, then I don't
Yeah.
think they should even be brought in.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. My brother Chris is real good, though. He's been working with me since I started, you know, my business. And he's just like on a, you know, call basis. So, like, when I need him, I'll call him and he'll come in. And my brother Adrian, too, they definitely, you know, have saved my ass a few times, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
So let's go back to the music real quick. So with you running your business, like, I mean, advice to other artists, like, I mean, because that's to me, that's why I started my own business, to kind of fund my music career.
yeah, the advice I have is like, get your own stuff, get your own studio, get your own setup. There's
Own what you do.
and own everything, because there's nothing like having your own. You know, it's hard to book studio time, to pay for, you know, studio time, to book
Yeah,
a session.
I won't even do it no more, you know?
It's kind of hard to do that. So if you're like want to be serious on your music thing, you have to have your own setup, you know, even if it's
Yeah, even if you don't have to mix, because here's the thing, I don't mix. I record my vocals and I shoot them over to you. He mixes them for me.
Yeah.
I get them back within the day or so, you know?
in a few hours sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's what a lot of, well, I don't know, because I haven't really been deep in the music game, but that's crazy how easy it is now. Like I said, all you if you're an artist and all you spit is vocals, and all you need is a mic and a good M-box, you know?
Yeah.
And
It's
a good
not,
hard.
yeah, exactly. It's not about like, to me, it's not even about what you have. It's about the creativity you
Oh,
put
exactly.
into it, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, because you know, I have it's like $1,000 studio only. It's nothing. But I mean, to tell you the truth, you couldn't tell. Like after we're done mixing stuff, it don't matter what, you know, we record on, you know?
Yeah.
I started like on a really cheap setup, you know, too, you know, but like maybe $300-400.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
when
me
I
and-
started.
And me and David, because we used to be label mates, and so we used to go and spend $75 an hour.
What does label mates mean?
So we were part of the same label.
Oh, okay.
Eternity, we both were Eternity.
So you guys were signed to something big then, right?
Technically not signed, but we were part of something that was
Okay.
growing pretty big.
Okay. Well, let's touch into that a little bit.
Okay.
What does that consist of? Tell me what
Well,
it means.
I remember, how did we meet?
So let me back it up. The story with how I know Manifest.
Yeah.
So I was scouring the city looking for producers at the time, right? And I happened to be sitting in front of a producer, rest in peace, Unique. He was a good friend of mine, and he's making me a beat, right? And this whole time he's just telling me about Manifest. Manifest taught me this. I need to do this. Manifest showed me this. And so after a certain point, and this is like an hour into the session, I'm like, maybe I just need to find this Manifest guy. Like, who's this Manifest? Because like literally, he's humble. Like Unique was humble, and he was just telling me like, Manifest taught me this. He taught me how to balance out these EQs, and I'm like, man, maybe I need to go through Manifest. Not that I wasn't feeling what we were doing in that session. It's just that I don't want the middleman. I want to go straight to the source. And I believe he opened up a folder of beats that you produced for Unique, and he showed me a folder of beats, and I'm like, man, I need to find this dude. And I think it was shortly after that when we actually linked up. I'm pretty sure Swifty kind of introduced us.
Swifty introduced us, and I think the first time I went to like your garage. And the crazy thing is, like, I was living with my grandma at the point, and his house was probably like how far?
Like a couple blocks, maybe. Like, I don't know.
It was like the next lights.
Yeah.
And so it was crazy how close, we were, and we didn't know of each other until then. But I remember, wasn't Chris B there?
Yeah. Yeah, we built a studio in my garage. Like, it was a makeshift studio, like duct tape, and it wasn't nothing nice, but it worked. It did the job for the time period,
Yeah.
And he had like Fruity Loops, and he had this little MIDI keyboard.
Yeah.
He gave you cereal?
No, Fruity Loops for so.
Oh, I'm like, what?
Okay, so
You said that twice. You got to remember our audience.
Fruity Loops is like for people who know, you guys know, but for people who don't, it's just a program. It's a DAW that you can use to make beats.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can import drum sounds, keyboard sounds.
It's like a sampler.
Yeah, it's like it's to me it's like the industry secret for a lot of years that nobody really known about.
Yeah, and it's like one of the programs I started on. I mean, I've used every program from.
Yeah, dude. Here's the thing: is he converts me over to a new program, and then by the time I learn this program and I bring him back, he's like, "Oh, I'm on to this new stuff. I'm on
I'm on the different program."
Yeah, so
Like,
every time I invite him over, I'm like, "I finally got it. I finally, And he's like, "Oh, I'm not even using that no more. I'm using this."
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just the way I am. I like getting my hands on something, and I just learn it to its fullest. And right now I'm using Logic. That's my, and I like Logic more than every program I've ever used. I mean, I don't know why. It's just the workflow and, the way, every program has like a different sound. I know it's kind of weird to say because, you're basically putting your own sounds in there, but like, I don't know, it's just different, but
Quality.
Yeah. So anyway, I just started cooking up a beat in his garage that day, and we just went from there. And
We
then
built a whole album, like probably one of the dopest albums that will never get released. Like we put out,
the Kingpin, is it called the Kingpin album?
Yeah, the Mile High Kingpin.
Mile High Kingpin. And I mean, that was a good, fun process, and I didn't really ask for nothing. I was just like hyped to like make music.
I think we were all kind of on that high. Like
Yeah.
we were all just like, I think what it was at the time is we were just happy to be part of something, like.
Yeah, and Chris B was like, I wouldn't say the manager or
Yeah.
I don't know, what was Chris B like?
I mean, I like to look at us all like we were equals at one point in time, but
his position, like
position, yeah.
you were
I mean,
the artist, I was
Yeah.
the producer, and Chris B was like, I would say the executive in a
Yeah.
sense, because he was like helping me like come up with concepts and beats and stuff like that. But then he was like in your ear about concepts and stuff too.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think
I think that truthfully, like the best stuff we've made was kind of bypassing that and kind of me and you getting in the studio because think about it,
just
harder
working.
than the radio. Like some of the best stuff we did, even Where You Are, it was just me and you kind of vibing it out. And
That one track that we did with Adam Duncan.
yeah, exactly.
I had that and I was like, here, just, use this.
I
for
think the
album.
best stuff I do is the stuff, because when somebody's in your ear telling you what is supposed to sound good, stuff could get kind of,
Chaotic.
then
yeah.
your whole perspective of what sounds good changes up,
Well, what I learned is like music, it's a feeling.
Yeah.
You have to just let it come to you and feel it. Like when you start thinking too much, it gets too technical and it might sound, too robotic or too plotted out. Like you kind of just got to feel it, and that's how you make the best songs.
Yeah,
So
no, most definitely.
What motivates you to just keep pushing everything? Like, why are you like, okay, let me just focus on painting and leave the beats behind, or let me just focus on the beats and leave the painting.
To me, it's like, okay, so like the painting and, the business, that's how I feed my family. I have kids and stuff, and that's what motivates me is my children. My boys, they're in high school now, but the music is like for me, the music is like my therapy. That's that's my getaway.
Your outlet.
So how come you don't think that can be your therapy and your
business
and your breadwinning?
I've never made a lot of money on music, to be honest. Like I've made, sold a beat here and there. I've done shows, sold merch here and there, but to me, Colorado it's very hard to be in the music industry in Colorado.
Yeah.
And I never started music to do it for money, I never did music to get rich, anything like that. To me, it's like an art. You can't put a price on your art, and that's not what motivates me. If that was what motivated me to do music, I probably would have already stopped.
Yeah.
That's not
well, one thing, our last conversation we had at my house a few months ago, and I remember talking to you about this, and I'm like, hey, how come you don't sell your beats? And I just remember your answer. You're like, well, I don't associate price with my craft. And I don't know, something about that just kind of stuck with me.
You can't put a price on your art, dude.
Yeah.
Because sometimes music is timeless, and that might be something I leave behind. It might not catch fire until I'm gone. Who knows? But
because I'm a firm believer in paying for the work. Me, I've never had a problem. Even when you're you can have this for free.
And he's nah, here's a.
So you're doing it for the love. You're not
passion.
really doing it for. Yeah, it's all about the passion
art.
and the love.
But some of these beats that I've got from him, I'm like, bro, this is $1,000 beat right here. Let's talk about the Rise and Grind intro track real quick, because this is something that I want to touch, because you produced that song. You produced the intro song for that.
Not for the podcast.
Not for the podcast. It was. You sent me.
It was in a pack.
You sent me a pack of beats a few years back. I think it was pre-COVID. You sent me a pack of beats, and I was gearing up to make a new album, and it just kind of got put on hold because out the box. You sent me the pack of beats. I liked that beat. I put it aside. I put it in another folder. So I take all the beats I like of yours, put them in a different folder. Then I'll go back to that folder. And something about that beat. I mean, I came back to it. What was that? A couple months ago when we recorded that intro.
Yeah.
And we played it one time. Right? I showed you guys it, and we're just like, that's it. That's our intro track. And it wasn't even supposed to be a rap song. It was just supposed to be a beat. Yeah. All we needed was a beat.
Yeah, it was supposed to just be an intro beat.
Intro
you know
beat.
what I mean?
That beat is fire.
Yeah. And then and it's catchy, dude. That beat, it just stands out. For something about it, I just knew I wanted to do something with it. And it's a short beat too. That was another thing, because to me it was a 2-minute beat. It was more of an interlude. Than it was a beat, a song.
I forgot. I forget a lot. I make so many beats. I forget. I'll be oh, I hear that beat.
Yeah,
I'll be
oh yeah, I produced that beat.
Yeah.
And I sample stuff too. I chop samples. And
and that was the one. That's what I loved about that beat, is that sample that you chopped up and put it in that beat, and I love that.
It's just taking something that's out there and just kind of crafting it and making it yours.
Yeah.
You can take a sample, speed it up or slow it down, throw different drums on it, throw a bass line, and it gives it a whole different vibe.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
So do you remember when you recorded that beat, or
when I made that beat?
or is it?
Did we ever record anything to that? Because
I don't think we did.
I think I wrote to that. I might have recorded some stuff. It never went anywhere.
Yeah.
But dang, I think I made that beat on Ableton to think about it.
Yeah.
When I was in my whole Ableton,
Yeah.
era, and I've had hard drives I lost full of beats. That might be one of those.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hell yeah.
And we did that song in one night too. Like we went and took it and recorded it in my studio and
That's
put it
the
out.
first time that I seen that music is no joke.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
you got to see the process.
They
behind
they
the
wanted
mic.
me just to say some words, and I couldn't even do that. You know what I mean? And I have no music background,
Yeah.
And so they were like, "Here, say this." I couldn't do it. Like we had to go and then kind of start from scratch and redo everything for me to be put on that track. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's no joke. So I have a whole.
So imagine doing that
A whole
with
new
the-
respect
with the
Yeah.
engineer that was a dick.
Yeah, no,
and that's,
I couldn't.
that's
Yeah, dude.
the stuff I would go through.
And you're on a time
With
limit
Chase,
because
you're
you're,
on a time
paying for
limit.
it.
With
Yeah.
Chase.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was it. Remember that was the last session we went
Yeah,
there.
because he'll just be like,
He's starting to pop off. We were paying dude
snarky.
$75 an hour, and he started to pop off.
Yeah.
Talk shit.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
He's just really snarky and like
Snarky.
he's like a male Karen, I would say.
Oh yeah. He didn't like his job. It seemed like he didn't want to be at his job. And then so I'm like, I don't want to record somewhere that I don't feel. So screw paying for studio time. Make your own
Yeah.
studio. Let's stick with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to love what you do. Like
Yup.
when it comes to music, if you're doing it for the views, if you're doing it to get viral, if you're doing it for the attention, that to me that tells me you don't love what you're doing.
Yeah. If you're not willing to invest in $1,000, $2,000 studio to
I invested like 10 grand into
Yeah.
and your
You got
PC
to.
alone, right? Like
my PC alone. I got my speakers, my microphone is like $2 grand. I got the Twin Apollo, plugins alone. One of my plugins is $500, just one plugin.
Yeah, just
and,
that one plugin.
and I have, probably 1,000 plugins.
Yeah.
So how do you justify that then if you're not making money on these beats? Like, don't you think like, let me recoup some of this?
Yeah, in a sense, but to me, the money is just a tool. You know what I'm saying? Money is just a tool, so you can acquire things.
That's crazy because a lot of people, they scratch for their
Well,
every cent to them.
When you're struggling,
Matters, you know
when
what I
you're
mean?
struggling, it matters. But I'm not really like struggling. Like I have my paint business. I make like 10 grand a month just off of one job.
Allegedly,
Sometimes.
unless you're the IRS.
Sometimes. I do pay my taxes, so the IRS, they're I'm good with that. And I have like a lot of deductions I can write off, like as a business, you
Yeah.
can write off, you know how that
So to put it in perspective, the podcast, let's talk about the podcast because, we don't really generate money in this podcast, but we put more money out investing into this podcast.
Yeah.
And it might catch fire like a podcast.
Yeah.
I can see a podcast going somewhere more,
Yeah.
than, music.
But that's the thing about music is 10 years from now, somebody could go on YouTube and find your song and that song could go viral out of nowhere.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
music is weird like that,
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
he was saying, it's timeless in a sense.
Yeah.
You could have made a song 10 years ago that hits viral now.
Yeah.
That's what the difference between like love and what you like the love, doing it for the love. There's a lot of starving artists here that are really dope and they're not making a cent off their music, but
Yeah.
they love to do it. They still, go in that studio. That's why if you buy your own studio, you buy your own stuff, you don't have to pay for studio time. I can record for the rest of my life
Yeah.
and not have to pay a dime,
And it's therapy at the end of the day. Like,
Therapy.
Because
and it's fun,
Yeah.
It's fun. It's like you don't make money, on the hours you spend. Like if you love to play basketball or if you,
Yeah.
love to
Hiking,
play,
biking, fishing, anything.
play games.
Yeah.
Like if you're a gamer, like a lot of them don't make money. Some of them do, when they stream it and all that. But like you have
the
to
passion.
Yeah, it's just it's fun. You
yeah.
want to do
No,
something.
I get it. I do it. Like, I put money into that stuff.
Yeah.
I've dropped $300-$400 on hooks. Like you've heard, you've seen what I've done with music and I don't really release it like that. Like I'm not geared up to release it yet.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. We got a couple tracks that we've been working on, me and Dave, and I just need to find the time to actually, get the video out, get all the diligence on the back end of them before I release a song,
Yeah, it's just like you tap into a different like part of your brain when you're like writing and constructing and sequencing your album and mixing and like it's just like a thrill, you know.
Yeah.
That's where I get like my thrill, you know. That's my
It's a high.
because when I'm my day to day is crazy, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everyone's is, but like, you know, I have 2 teenage boys, high school boys. They're both in sports, you know, with between that, you know, having the house in line and running a business, scheduling, advertising for my business. Like I have a whole storage full of stuff just for my company, you know, because I can't keep it in my house. Like, and then, you know, there's the day-to-day things like cleaning, laundry, you know, groceries, you know, cooking.
So how do you time manage everything in a sense?
That is very difficult, but at the same time, like I love my family as well.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem like a chore all the time. And then I have my girls like on it, you know.
Yeah. So you have backup. It's just not you in the cut.
She's the rock, you know. Like she definitely on my boys about everything.
Does she help out with the business?
She don't help out too much with the business. She does a little bit sometimes. Like she'll go pass out flyers and stuff. She's so busy with everything that I don't like come to her for that. And
that's very important. It's very important to keep things separated and to have a backbone like that because, like you said, family and kids and everything, that's work in itself. That's a job in itself. Yeah. And for you to focus on your painting, on your music, and then with that, you know.
She helps me with the balance.
Yep.
Because if not, I'll just probably stay in the studio, like he said, you know, nonstop. And she'll get annoyed, you know, sometimes. And she'll be like, are you going to get off the music? Come on. We need to do things.
Yeah, we got to go get groceries.
You know?
And that's...
Oh, go ahead.
That's just crazy, right? So I've seen households where the partner doesn't support the other partner's
decisions,
dreams,
business,
or whatever.
Yeah, you know, passion. And if you fail, right? Mm-hmm. Your business fails, your hobbies fail. If you don't have that strong backbone, like he was saying, then you fail, you know. And I think that's the hardest thing to find in a partner is someone like we're not easy. I mean, I come to my wife, hey, we're gonna do this. Hey, we're doing that. You know, and I'm sure she gets pissed off a lot.
We're buying a golf cart. We're buying a forklift.
You know, hey, I'm buying a forklift. Hey, we're you know. And
they know, like your wives, they know. Like there's been friends that I went around, and my wife's like, I don't want you around them. And then there's been friends like Fade and like other people, and I'm like, I'm going with Fade. She's like, cool. Like she won't even second guess certain things because she knows like the people who are about their shit and like the people who are just there to use you, and they can probably see it before you can, you know?
I think your girls could always identify somebody that's using you before you could identify that.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Like, and like she does support like my music, but she's not like involved and like, you know, that's how I met her is like through the music, but it's good that she likes me for me, and not the music, because when I was like doing shows and, you know, really like into it more, like as far as performing and stuff, I didn't like girls who would like me for that. You know? I thought it was shallow. Like I would step off the stage and girls like would be, you know, trying to lick my face and stuff. It's just crazy.
And they're probably doing that to every dude.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the fit dude that night. Huh?
Yeah. So it was like, and her, like, she can care less.
Yeah.
She can care less about the music, about the business, about any of that. Like she really loves me for me and the father I am, and like she knows me. Like, but she's not afraid to like run her mouth and, you know, talk shit to me too.
Yeah,
like,
put her foot down every so often.
Like I have a verse, and it's like, what I say? Something like, my little mama stay hating on me, but she's still on my shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because she's my biggest hater, but at the same time, she's my biggest fan too. You know? It's crazy.
That's cool. Yeah.
There's nothing better than someone that will, you know, can do that. Because I mean, me too, right? Sometimes we all get chopping up, and she's like, "That's a stupid idea." And so then I go and I think about you're right. You know, it's just gonna waste money.
Yeah.
You know, but also when, you know, things aren't doing good, she ain't scared to jump in and be like, hey, let me work too. You know, let me help you maintain this lifestyle that we've built for our kids and for ourselves. She's not going to let me fail. She's not scared to jump in and work too.
And
You know what I mean?
Sometimes I was like living way up here, and she's brought me back down to reality. Like, whoa, like you ain't the shit. Like,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
that's my problem. I think I'm, smarter than 98% of the people in every room I'm
Yeah,
in. You know what I
exactly.
mean? And she's like, no, you're not. You're an idiot. But it's good to have that ground, that foundation where they can. And if you don't have that partner, it kind of sucks, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
and then my kids.
it's a miserable life.
My kids are like I said, they're like what motivates me to do anything, to have a business, to put my all into music sometimes, because I feel like if they see me like following my dreams or even just like doing something with myself, they're gonna do that themselves. You need to instill that into your
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
most kids see their parents, they work a 9-to-5 job, they clock out, and then they go home and just chill on the couch. I think it's kind of amazing to see your dad, do music, go have a business that they're working on, and then still doing the family shit. To me, that's the superhero right there.
It's hard to be like the hero and the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
Because sometimes like I gotta put my foot down, and like me and my boys are cool, like we're friends, we're good.
yeah.
But I'm like, hey, I'm not your homie, I'm your dad. Like I gotta
Yeah,
remind
yeah.
them. And if I have to put my foot down, I will, dude.
Yeah.
That's missing in today's world, right? All these parents want to be friends. They don't want to be parents. So these kids are just running amok.
Yeah, and the mother, like their mother, she is not their friend. She's a mother. She don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
she'll tell them, she'll kick their ass, whatever they need. And she has to like tell me like, hey, back me up. And so I'm like, keep your mom off my back.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll stay off your back.
Yeah.
That's the rule of the house.
Level grounds.
That's a real on its own right there.
I have a couple tracks with my boys. It's crazy.
Yeah, you were showing me.
We never released them, but they think it's cool. And when their cousins come over, they're like, "Can we jump in the studio? Can we work?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I showed my son JJ how to, run a session and all that. So
Sick.
it was crazy. The first time they recorded, JJ, he just like freestyled, and his cousins were there. They wouldn't let us, go into the studio, into the
They
room.
just did their own thing.
They're like, we don't want you in here, so we let them. Then they call us in there and have a track. I mix it for them, but like, it was really good. I was like, wow, like
Compared to our first shit that we probably recorded back in the day.
Yeah.
yeah. My son JJ, he's like really good, but
You start them young and then they surpass you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of what you want.
I remember him being in the studio when he was a baby, though.
Yeah.
And so he remembers like all that
Yeah.
stuff.
I honestly remember you bring them over a few times, and they're just chilling in the studio.
They're just chilling on
Just
the
chilling, little
tablet.
dudes on this,
just chilling.
just chilling,
That's
chilling,
good.
vibing,
Good.
it doesn't
Yeah.
bother them. They're just
Yeah.
like, once we get the
They're like the homies. They're just chilling there, dude. Like
just
they
watching.
once you get the
yeah.
hook down, they're just like singing the hook with you.
Yeah,
like
nice.
it's crazy,
Oh, yeah.
It's dope. But like,
That's what I love though. When family's involved with music like that, it's a beautiful thing,
yeah. So my kids, they love that. I do music, and I try to get them involved in it more. But they're just like, they do it for fun here and there.
Because your daughter
Yeah.
sings, Eli, right?
And
Yeah,
Choir or
she was really deep in choir in school.
Yeah.
And then, we go to church, so she's part of that too. And
that's dope.
got to get her on a hook.
yeah, I'm
Right,
trying.
right.
I'm trying to convince her. She's timid,
Yeah.
in that aspect.
That's
Not
real
anything else though.
Yeah.
She's like him, but when it comes to singing, she don't want nobody to hear it.
Yeah. So
Yeah, once you get out of that, like I think everyone has that. That
Yeah,
like,
it's just that outer shell you got to break through.
like, even when I perform now, even though I've been performing for years, I still get those butterflies.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, that,
You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
think that ever goes away.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and like I think you just got to kind of like feel comfortable in that,
Yeah,
position.
yeah.
You got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
that's it. That's what performing
That's how
is.
you grow. That's how
Yeah.
you grow.
Yep.
Yep.
and we've talked about trying to get her on hooks or
Yeah. I actually
something,
got
so-
a song. Like I've been wanting to get her on that Nate Dogg song.
Yeah.
That open hook. That open hook. I've been wanting to get her on.
Did I send you that intro yet? Like where I'm
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just opened up the stems the other day actually and went through it.
Nice.
I'll be
Let's
forgetting.
do it. Let's do it. You know?
Let's
I'll
get
be
her on the
forgetting
song.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
That's my favorite thing is being in the. I keep telling these guys like,
Well,
you know,
let's get in the
No, we
studio.
gotta-
we have Lopez, and I want to do a lot more stuff with
No,
Lopez.
Let's get in the studio, or we can like even build one.
Well, I think it would be tight too. Yeah, we could build a studio.
Well, we talked
we've been
about
talking
building one
yeah,
here.
building one
you
here.
know?
I have all my equipment, and like right now, like my stuff is in my room, which is cool. I love it because I can wake up, roll out of bed. But like, it's not efficient where I can have people there as much as
Yeah.
I like. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Got to sit on the bed and go hang out in the closet.
yeah. And then if my girl like wants to come, like take a nap, you know, I can't. You
Yeah.
know, it's just
Well, we talked about.
Yeah.
I actually ran that by them. Like, let's open up a studio over here.
So I think that the next this warehouse, as of right this second, we're pretty tapped
it's
out.
pretty packed. Yeah.
We got to kind of move some things, but I think the next warehouse, dude, it's gonna be.
yeah, a little bit of everything.
It's
in
gonna
there.
be.
We're definitely going to have a production room. You know.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
That'd be
you know,
dope.
we want video production room,
Yeah.
we want audio,
All
you know
that,
what I
Yeah,
mean?
my brother architect, he has like all the stuff for the video
Yeah.
too. Like,
Yeah. See, we want
Yeah.
green screen, all that. You know.
and he raps with me. Like me and my so my crew, I have a crew now. Like I said, I had different crews. The Rap League, that was after Trendsetters. That was like everyone in Trendsetters plus a few more people, you know. And that's when we started like really killing the scene, rocking
yeah.
shows, open up for artists, rocking the Fox Theater, different, you know. And that kind of fell apart. But now it's like I just have me and my brother, you know.
Yeah.
Out of like everything we done, people weren't serious or people weren't showing up, or you know how it goes.
They don't
you
put
know?
the work in,
They
and
don't
then
wanna-
they want the ride. They want to ride with you, but
They
then
just want to ride the coattails. I ain't done.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so my little brother architect, me and him, we just like I said, I built the studio, all that stuff, and we were thinking of a crew name, and like we wrote like 20 names, and we're just thinking, we're like, nah, that don't feel right, and then I said, what goes in a room, and it can describe us, and I was like, what if you put like waves in a room? Like,
Yeah.
but I was thinking of like, you know, sound waves.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So we came up with the wave room, you know.
Yeah.
And that's
Dope.
like the studio. That's where it all happens. But like, it's kind of like a, what would you call that? It's like a visual. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, visual of it, yeah.
It gives you a visual. And it just stuck, you know, the wave room, that's just like me and my bro, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And
yeah.
that describes us, because I got tired of saying, you know, the architect, manifest, the architect,
Yeah.
which is cool. I just wanted to put more of a label on it.
On
you
it.
know?
All right.
So,
Yeah.
like Wu-Tang.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, like Wu-Tang has all their members, but what
Yep.
defines them as a group, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Exactly.
And I don't know, I thought about like adding more people to it, but then
Yeah.
I was like, I don't
It gets
know.
complicated, right? It gets a little more
I
complicated.
kind of think it's best to focus on yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like, when you're
exactly.
younger, cool, a group's the right way to go. You know, but when
Yeah.
you start, you know, becoming an adult, I feel like solo is probably the best way to.
Yeah,
approach
when you
it.
come into yourself and your artistry, and like, so me and my brother, like, he takes it very serious, and
Yeah.
he's really dope, and he does all the graphics, he does all the, you know,
animation.
all the he does sick ass animation videos.
Oh, yeah.
He does videos, you know, he's done stuff for like Red Rocks and Dragon Ball
We need the
Festival.
animation part too,
Yeah.
man. We're just talking about animating us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we need to
He
animate
does-
this
he does that.
podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
He can do all that, you know, and he'll charge for that because that takes a lot of
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
not
dude.
scared to pay, dude.
Well,
That's what we're all about.
Definitely, but like he's done so much dope shit, you know, and you know, that's who inspires me. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like I put him onto this music thing, and he took it and ran with it, and now he inspires me, you know.
It's
And
lovely
he
to see
also
that.
makes beats as well, right?
He makes beats. He's dope at, like, he plays the guitar. He's like really talented, you know, and he'll tell you the same thing about me. Like, my brother motivates me,
Yeah.
you know. So we like,
Yeah. Bounce the energy back and forth.
because I do all the beats and the mixing, mastering, the production, you know,
Oh, yeah.
stuff like that, and he does the other side of it. So, you know, we mesh pretty well as a group. You
Oh
know?
yeah. Oh
We're
yeah.
both put it.
All right. So David, 5 mics, manifest, baby.
Yeah.
What's in the future for you?
So I got this album coming, Civil War. It's dropping tomorrow. By the time you guys see this podcast, it will be out, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, so let's go into that. Let's take a dive into what Civil War means. So at this time in like hip hop, I feel like there's a lot of back and forth. There was like, you know, the Drake, Kendrick.
Yeah, back.
And even before then, I felt like hip hop was just, you know, kind of caving in on itself, you know. But then also it's like a battle that you have with yourself too.
Yeah,
That's a civil war right there.
Yeah, it's a daily battle.
There was a time when me and my wife, we were, you know, going back and forth a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I just, to me, civil war means so much. It means like the battle that you have to fight every day. It's more than just, you know, the Civil War, you know, what that means, like as far as what the U.S. went through, you know, but.
And that's dropping on.
That's dropping on the 4th of July.
So keep an eye out. Like I said, by the time this comes out, that's going to be out.
I thought it was dope that it's, you know, dropping on that date.
Yeah, that's important.
Because that's when we got like independence.
Yeah.
And Civil War to me is like being free from the struggle, the fight that.
Yeah.
You know, so, but it's going to be a 2-part album. 2020.
Nice.
2020 is like a vision, but each album's going to have 20 tracks. And my first album, like my first real album was called Manifest 2020. So I'm playing off of that. The second one was the vision.
Okay.
Talking about the site.
Yeah, the 2020 vision, yep.
And then, you know, it's going back into that, you know, so it's Civil War, but it's 2020.
Nice.
Two albums, back to back. The first one's dropping, you know, July, you know, the 4th of July. Second one's dropping August.
Awesome.
I usually drop albums in August, like around my birthday. I don't know. That's kind of like my gift to myself.
Yeah,
nice.
Is putting out like a dope piece of project. I'm gonna try to get the second one done by then. It's still a lot of work on the second one. I have the tracks, but what I do is when I record an album, I go back to every song.
Yeah.
I fix a word that I don't like or fix a hook.
Perfection.
And
now you said that's in August, hopefully?
The second one is coming August. I just don't know the date yet.
Okay.
The first one,
July 4th.
It's ready. You know, it'll be out tomorrow.
So where can they find it?
They can find it every DSP anywhere. They just
platform.
Every platform. All you got to do is type Manifest to 5 Mics.
Yeah, the song that we played today, that's on there already, right?
That song's on there.
Go check that out. It's hot.
That song is fire. That's like I think it's like the second song of the album. That kind of sets the tone.
Oh, nice. I like that way that one came out.
This first album, it's more features, people that I, you know, look up to or that I want to work with or that I did want to work with. Not as much personal stuff. The second one, I get more into the personal stuff.
Nice.
But the first one, it has like a vibe to it, the whole thing. You know, it's like uppity, like I wouldn't say West Coast, but it does kind of have like that West Coast pop.
Nice.
On certain things, lyrical stuff, spitting. I'm here with something to prove, type of thing. You know.
Don't sleep on it, man. I've been working with David for a lot of years. And this city, it sleeps on its artists.
No, it always does.
You know, but I'm going to tell you right now, don't sleep on Manifest. This dude got a lot of heat, and he got a lot of skill, and he puts the time into his craft.
Yep. Don't sleep on it, but like if it's not for you, I ain't mad at that either. Right. You know what I'm saying? I got a video dropping with the album. Well, I just talked to Tech. He's still working on the video, so the video might come a few days after the album drops. I want to give him his time to do what he does because if he takes a little bit longer, it's going to come out that much better. Yep. You know, I wanted to drop the video with the album. If it doesn't happen, I'm not, you know, really tripping on that.
So what socials can they find you on? Are you on socials?
I'm on Instagram, Manifest 2020. I'm on YouTube, you know, Facebook. All that stuff, Manifest, the 5 Mics, Manifest 2020.
TikTok, all that.
TikTok, everything. It's just all Manifest, the 5 Mics, or Manifest 2020. You know, if you type Manifest, the 5 Mics on Google, it's
I did it last night actually.
Go bring up everything.
Bandcamp, it's
I'll give him a follow.
DistroKid. There's a lot of things that pops up.
Yeah. Like there's some artists who like you type in their stuff, you won't.
Yeah, well, like me, because I picked a bad name. You know, when you pop me up, a haircut pops up.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
well. That's
Haircut and a little
That's
kid.
why I put the 5 mics.
Yeah,
There-
5 mics.
There's different,
Well,
like a lot of manifest.
We'll
like,
talk about that next time, but that's actually it's a secret to being an artist. You got to choose the right name.
Yeah, no, exactly.
The right spelling, because if Google can't find you, you're screwed.
Yep.
You know, like
And then your painting is A&D painting, right?
A&D painting.
So go check that
So-
out.
so the
Full
second-
support.
this is the season right now.
A as in Apple, D as in David.
Yep.
So A&D stands for art and development.
Okay.
Okay.
It
I'm
was
definitely
gonna
going to be hitting you up.
it was gonna be Adrian and David because I was going into like a business with my brother Adrian,
Yeah.
and he wound up like going and working with his friends and like helping them with their stuff. And so I just kept the name, and I was like, let me just change.
Yeah, no, that's a great name, dude.
the
Art,
acronym.
that's a great
And
name.
when you Google, A is first, right? So
Yep, that's always a key
gonna
point.
be on the top.
back in the day, if it was a phone book, you would be right
yeah,
up top.
right on
You
the
know what I
top,
mean?
yep.
So yeah.
All right, man. So before we get out of here, I'm going to hit you with the final question. So if you can talk to little David Manifest 5 mics, what advice would you give him?
Ooh, let me think about that. Young 5 mics. I'm still young. Like my kids think I'm old. And my girl calls me old, but you know I'm still young.
Yeah.
No, but young 5 mics. I would tell him to lean into it more. Like everything that you thought, everything you felt. You know,
Yeah.
even back then, I used to be like kind of standoffish, kind of like, you know, unsure of myself. I would say lean into everything more, you know,
Yeah.
believe in yourself. And that's for young 5 mics, but that's for everybody, you know, like
Yeah.
you have to believe in yourself. You have to be delusional because that's what's going to give you the strength. That's what's going to give you,
Yeah.
you know, the
Yeah,
focus.
you got to sound
Yeah.
crazy to some people.
Most people will go to the edge of the mountain and look over. Not many people will jump off that motherfucker.
If I could have looked at myself now from back then,
Yeah.
you know, I would be like, who is this guy? You know, because I'm proud of a lot of things that I've done. I'm proud of like tons of things that I've done. I'm not so proud of certain things. I would say just lean into your purpose and you know, like get off of that dumb shit. You know,
Yeah.
get off that dumb shit. You know, we all been there. You know,
Yeah.
so that's kind of
Hell yeah, man. That's a solid question.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you being on the Rise and Grind
Thank you,
podcast
thank
show.
you.
yeah, no doubt, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
It was
go
a good,
check him out.
It was a good
And,
podcast.
Don't forget, guys, Rise and Grind. And we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time, baby. Let's go. Yeah.
Rise and grind.